I shoved my mother-in-law. My boyfriend imagines himself getting intimate with other women. My wife has depression. I shoved my mother-in-law and I don't know if I should apologize or not. My girlfriend, 22-year-old female, and I, 24-year-old male, moved in together at the start of this semester. My girlfriend is in her second year pharmacy school, an 8-to-4 job, and I'm working on my master's degree. While my girlfriend's mom, 48 female, isn't technically my mother-in-law yet, I'll be referring to her as that because it's easier. So my MIL travels for work. She has a nanny to watch my girlfriend's little brother. The nanny quit and my MIL has been leaving my girlfriend's little brother alone. The kid is around 9, by the way. My girlfriend just recently found out about this last week and was beyond pissed at the news, as was I. It was even more upsetting when my MIL wanted us to take in the kid for a few months. Both of us said no almost immediately. We don't have the room, means, or time to take care of a kid now, and it just wouldn't work out. My MIL and the kid came over this evening to visit. It was extremely unpleasant. The entire time my MIL was making snide remarks at my girlfriend, and my girlfriend gave them right back to her. I was playing video games with the kid while my MIL wanted to talk to my girlfriend in private. Private, meaning on the balcony where we could see and hear them. Things got heated really quickly. They were yelling and I don't know exactly what happened, but my MIL slapped my girlfriend. My unfortunately relentless girlfriend still continued to argue with her. I stepped out to try to defuse the situation, but my MIL shoved my girlfriend back. She hit her head on the rail, and now she has a pretty big gash and bruise on her forehead. I was upset with my MIL. I acted on impulse and grabbed her arm pretty tightly. I asked her, "What the f is wrong with you?" My MIL seemed pretty shocked. I don't know if it was from pushing my girlfriend or my reaction. I shoved her. Not hard enough to hurt her, but enough to shock her. Then, they left. I feel awful about not being able to take the kid in, and even worse now. I feel terrible about shoving my MIL. The whole thing is just bothering me. How do I fix this with my MIL? Should we take the kid in? Good for you for trying to defuse the situation and standing up for your girlfriend. The physical grabbing may not have been appropriate, but after what already happened, I don't think anyone would really fault you. No, you don't owe your mother-in-law an apology, but she certainly owes a few to her daughter and to you for this outburst in your home. I feel sorry for that boy. It sounds like the kid would be better off with you guys. If she's leaving him alone, she obviously isn't looking after him properly. While I don't agree with you pushing her as much, it sounded like she needed that shock to realize what she'd done. So absolutely do not apologize. She should be apologizing to you both for acting like that. My boyfriend told me he masturbates to porn and imagines himself having sex with women he had sex with in the past. My boyfriend and I were texting the other day. I asked what's up, and he said he just finished wanking. We're pretty open about that, so I was like, cool, what got you going? We got into a discussion about it, and I told him that sometimes I get too in my head and let it upset me that he masturbates to other women. He assured me I'm enough, made me feel validated and secure, and we dropped it. Fast forward to today, we were having breakfast and he brought it back up. He asked me if I was mad at him that day, and I said no. He said something like, "It's not like I see them anymore. Well, I guess I still have them on Snapchat, but I don't have anything to do with them." I was confused because I thought we were talking about women in porn. He told me he does watch POV porn, but imagines himself having sex with women from his past. I asked if he ever thinks about me, and he shrugged and said sometimes, not very reassuring. He told me he enjoys masturbating as much as he enjoys having sex with me, and he doesn't prefer one over the other because they both have their pros and cons. I mean, I appreciate the honesty, but I could have gone my whole life not knowing that he still gets off to the thought of women he has been with, especially knowing how often he masturbates. Now I'm feeling inadequate and inferior. On one hand, I know I'll never be the one my partner desires no matter who I'm with, but I would have felt better if he was just jerking off to the thought of women he's never met as opposed to women he's already fucked, especially since I only think of him when I masturbate. Now I wish I didn't. He's really a great guy. I just think I'm going to have a difficult time getting past this. I guess I just want to know if people think my feelings about it are justified or if I should just try to accept it and move on. Your boyfriend sounds charming. For real, think about 5 years from now. Do you think you'd be happy to still be with a guy that thinks of jacking off to exes is just as enjoyable as sex with you? He's not a great guy, I assure you. This guy is gross as hell. And when you're old and gray, do you really want a husband who wanks it to the ghosts of girlfriends past? Like, is that the guy who you want to be the father of your kids? You can do better. My wife has depression that I help her with daily for 19 years. When I had a breakdown, she was not there for me at all. I have been married for 16 years, and throughout that time, I've had many hobbies that I use to help myself both unwind and relax from my career. I have a high-stress job, and am a sole provider to my family. To get something clear right away, my wife suffers from mental illness and therefore does not work or do much at all besides raise the kids. And even then, I do most of that when it comes to schooling, making food, and anything outside the house. Looking back, I can see a pattern has formed, but this time it has blown me away to another level. When we met, I had what I will call a side job in the arts, music, dance, singing, and I put it all on hold while I helped her with her mental issues. We were young, and I thought I was doing the right thing. That turned out outright quitting that huge part of my life and interests. I've had a few other major interests outside my job since then, and all of them have been ruined by her disapproval in one way or another. Be it other people not liking the cost of what I was doing and they whine at her about it, or she just does not like that I'm putting attention into a hobby so much. Looking back, I see where all has been sabotaged somehow through either her own fear of being alone, anxiety gets extreme if I was to go out by myself for a few hours for example, or just if she has nothing to do, then I am being rude for doing something else I like. Skip to the latest issue. About a year ago, I got back into that first love that I abandoned so long ago, and it changed me. I was bright again. I was me again. Ironic that during most arguments, she claims she wants me to be the person I was when we met. Well, this is it. I got my passion for life back and have never felt more happy and alive. Until the other day. An argument happened because I did not handle something for her when I said I would, despite having to deal with a major work issue. No excuse I could ever give would mean a thing when she is in an anxiety or depression-induced outburst. I admit, it got out of hand, and a swipe was taken at my hobby that I admit I have been putting a lot of energy into of late. I kinda lost it, listed out all the grievances that I have about how this always happens, and I have done that before, but this time was different. You could say I had a mini breakdown the same way she has done a million times before. This happened when she demanded that I give up my hobby to have more time to work and help her with her issues. This is all not new as far as the arguments go, but what happened next just kills me. I don't cry, like ever. But I did. After a month of dealing with a lot of trauma at work, plus a few other personal issues, I just lost it and felt actually sad. And I cried. And I expressed that this was me she was asking me to give up. That it was always what she asks me to be. That this is not just a hobby, but a part of my existence that I shelved to help her, like she asked all those years. And she did not get it. All I have heard for over 2 weeks since that event is that she can't believe that I can get so upset at that thing and that I didn't even cry at her father's funeral. He was abusive to her and I hated him. Or at insert anything major here. Right now, I am looking at all the help and sacrifices that I have made for her, and when it came to the crunch, when I was the one to have a breakdown, she wasn't there. She's being an accusing person, telling me that I am moping around and not being happy, and that is making her life hell. That it's stupid that I would be so upset at something like that, and that she finds it an annoying hobby anyway, so it would just be better to stop it, get over it, and we can all just be happy again. It was good to take that off my chest. Sorry for the rant. I am right now investigating divorce, and that seems overkill and extreme and also difficult due to her being 100% codependent. Also kids, I have no doubt I'll lose here. I have tried to help her so much that I feel like I have wrecked myself and have no option to just suck it up and get over it. I also feel wrong for feeling this way. Like, why can't I just get over it? I did last time for like 15 years. I think it is just that I rediscovered who I am, only for it to be destroyed. I am at a loss now, not sure what way to go. The kids will suffer if I leave. I will suffer if I stay. She can't live on her own nor pay for anything. I feel so guilty if I was to leave that I would essentially be trying to take my kids and she would become homeless. I think the thing that guts me the most is that when faced with the opposite of what my life is, when I broke down, she's not there for me. Am I just being selfish? Thing is, she doesn't sound like she cares about your issues or grievances. If it hinders her, then it's our issue. She sounds selfish. You shouldn't have to suffer just because she has a mental health issue that she knows she has. You have to look out for yourself here. As much as it hurts the kids to go through a divorce, it will be more destructive being in a toxic, unhealthy relationship. I'll add to that. You're most likely depressed too, OP. Just because you didn't get it checked by a doctor doesn't mean it's not here. You've been handling with her issues for so many years. Of course it would rub on you. It's impossible it doesn't. It's okay for your wife to have weaknesses. However, it's okay for you to have some too. If finding a lost hobby makes you feel so happy again, it's simply because you've been bottling up all your feelings for so many years. It's clearly unhealthy, and everyone would end up going mad. She's not your responsibility, and clearly she's entitled to you and your life. She doesn't own you though. You're only yours to yourself. If you get a divorce, why would she even get the kids' custody? She has no selling points for it. She doesn't work. She's mentally incapable. What you could do would be to divorce and not care for her anymore on the mental supportive side. Perhaps lend a hand here and then if she nicely asks you, but stop living together. She has already ruined you enough as is. Get the kids' custody and help her financially if you feel like you can completely leave her out of her own, but save yourself at least. As long as the kids are in your care and she gets financial help, the rest is up to her. She has to live for herself, not you. Life is tough for everyone. She's no special snowflake.
What would your advice be? Leave a comment down below and let us know what you think.